Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Is It Kino? I am Mumkey Jones.
And I'm E-Rich Bang.
E-Rich... Oh, I get it. It's like Joe
Yeah.
Bang, right?
Yeah.
Now, E-Rich, the other day, and this is a very popular video blowing up on the main channel, we reviewed Death Note, and I said it was probably the worst film I've seen all year, despite seeing the Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
But let me just say, I think we have a new winner. Because we just saw Logan Lucky, and I think it might be worse than the Death Note movie.
What the fuck are you talking about, boy?
No, I'm just kidding. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fuck
nigga.
yes! You really had me going there for a second.
No, okay. Let me just get it out there right now. Logan Lucky is probably, it's really close, but probably my favorite movie this year to have the word Logan in the title. It's really close. It's really close, but I think it might be. Because I just gotta say right off the bat, I love this movie. I had a big dumb grin on my face almost the entire time. It gave me nostalgic feelings for television shows that I loved when I was younger, like My Name is Earl. King of the Hill. Just like the charm of having all these southern characters who are, you know, kind of dumb but also kind of smart, and just with all their wacky shenanigans, and it's just like nonstop fun. It's gotta be the funniest comedy of the year. I can't think of anything funnier.
Oh, totally. This movie has a great way of accurately portraying the people of the South without, like, condescending to them and, like...
Oh, yeah. They're not stereotypes. They're actual characters.
Yeah, it is not telling you, oh, these are shitty people who are fucking dumb as rocks. It's that they're kind of messed up at times, but they ultimately can accomplish things and kind of, like, get along on their own. Yeah, this is a great movie. Steven Soderbergh, who had for a while said that he had stopped making movies... this is his kind of triumphant return to making movies. He was on I think, Cinemax show called The Nick for a while, and I really liked that show. But it stopped after 2 seasons, and I'm so glad that he's kind of back in full form. He made another Ocean's movie. It's just he set it in, where are they? Fucking Kentucky?
Was The Nick the one about, was it the documentary about the guy who admitted on the documentary that he killed people, or was that something else?
No, it's something else.
Okay.
That's The Jinx. The Nick is
Jinx,
about...
yeah.
Yeah. The
Jinx was really cool.
Yeah, The Jinx was great. The Nick is about a doctor in the early 1900s in the Knickerbocker Hospital, and basically he's, like, finding all of these crazy things. There's a great scene where Clive Owen has... ripped open
Clive Owen.
Yeah. Hello. He's ripped open
Hello,
this guy's
hello?
head. It's me, Clive Owen. So he's basically...
Where did E-Rich go?
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
So basically he's, like, cracked open this guy's skull, and he's, like, basically poking at bits of his brain, and as the doctor is poking at bits of his brain, the guy on the table is, like, moving around or, like, laughing and, like, doing all this crazy shit. It's a really good show.
No, it's like Pickle Rick when he's going into that rat's brain to make it move.
Pickle Rick! No,
Yeah.
fuck Pickle Rick.
So you said this was directed by Steven Soderbergh, is that his name?
Yes, that is his name.
So as I understand it, this film was a huge gamble because he decided to distribute it on his own, and the gamble was a massive failure because the movie is flopping hard at the box office.
Yeah, it's very sad, very sad. Basically, they didn't have a marketing budget for the movie. They basically went in and said, we can make this movie with the money from the various financiers, but the problem is when you have to distribute the movie and sell the movie, basically, advertise for it, that's a huge part of a movie's budget. Like, you basically take the movie's budget and then double it, and that's what the whole thing costs, because marketing accounts for so much of a budget. So by saying, we're just not going to market it, we'll have a couple trailers put out on the internet. I'm sure there were some TV ads here and there. They might have had some billboards, but they do not have the marketing presence that so many movies that play on big screens tend to have. And yeah, I think that really bit him ultimately. We'll see, though.
I can see where they would have expected word of mouth to be really good for this movie, because
And it
after
was.
watching it, yeah, like I do want to sing its praises and convince people to go see it, but it's just, it must be a really bad month for movies. I think this last August was the worst box office in like 2 decades, I think is what Dan Murrell told me on Screen Junkie show.
Yeah,
So people just like, maybe it was because of like that big fight with Mayweather or something, but like people just didn't go to the movies these last weekends.
The shitty thing is that the biggest problem they're facing is that basically the only movies that are getting seen by wide audiences tend to be the superhero movies. I think the one kind of outlier here is Baby Driver, which actually did really fucking well.
Yeah, it made it to the top 10 of the summer.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
Well, hey, let's talk about the movie a little bit and see if we can't convince some people that it's worth their money, because I definitely think it was. I think
definitely, yeah.
So this movie has a lot of big, recognizable actors. You got Channing Tatum. You've got Adam Driver. Adam Driver, one of the hardest actors to not recognize because he's so strange looking.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But let me just say, with all that being said, all these recognizable actors, they all disappear into these characters for
Absolutely.
me. I never thought I was looking at Channing Tatum up on the screen. I believed everything except, and let's see if you can guess, except for one performance stuck out like a sore thumb, and I do have a great comparison for it. Do you know who I might be talking about?
Oh, it's me. It's Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
I'm a British person.
It's great that we both knew who it was without confirming it before the show.
It took about 5 seconds, but I'm like, what the fuck? Is that Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, I like him as a voice actor. I think he does a good job with characters like, Peter, Stewie, Roger, the alien.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's on screen, I've seen his one on-screen movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh god.
Not the best actual performer when he's on the screen. Have you seen the Red Letter Media extraordinary film Gorilla Interrupted?
No, I have not.
Seth MacFarlane is giving an identical, I swear to God, 100% identical performance
Oh my god.
that Mike Stacklasa gave when he was 20 years old in the movie Gorilla Interrupted.
Holy shit.
It's literally the same fucking performance and the same character. And at first I hated it because Seth MacFarlane, what are you doing? You're sticking out in this movie so poorly. You're like giving a high school performance in this like master class of acting. But then when I started thinking, wait, no, this is just Mike Stacklasa when he's 20. Then I really started to enjoy the character a lot more.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane actually has one of my favorite on-screen character roles. He's just basically a voice, though. It's in Hellboy 2, there's a side character who's like this, like, it's hilariously over-the-top German guy who's basically just a gas. He is a gas that fills up a suit. And Seth MacFarlane voices him in his hilarious German accent. And I think it's just really well done. He actually tends to do pretty well and emote pretty well in that movie.
Yeah. But you said it was just like a voice performance?
Yes. It's just a voice performance. So.
Seth, I know you're listening to this show. I know you're a big fan of Visit Kino. Just stick to the voice performances, dude. Like we don't need to see you on screen, like with your big dumb mustache and that I'm pretty sure was not real.
Yeah, and your bullshit Star Trek parody show that's going to be on Fox.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you're right.
That's him. That's fucking him.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's not going to do well.
I feel like this is going to just devolve into a Seth MacFarlane live-action career discussion. But, like, at what point did he either get big enough to say, I want to start starring in shit, and then why didn't people tell him, no, just stay off screen? Like, you're a good voice actor, keep it
He's
to
a really good voice.
Yeah.
And he's, like, somewhat handsome, and he's really tall. So, like, he has the makings of an actor, but it just doesn't work because, like, when I see him on screen, all I can imagine is, like, fucking Stewie Griffin and shit.
He's, like, the concept sketch of an actor. Like, he hasn't yet been filled out and, like, actually... Yeah, like, he's just very bland and generic looking, so... I don't know.
Speaking of the performances, because that's the only one that I thought was a problem, this has, and I probably said this for the Logan review as well, but this has one of the best child actresses I've ever seen.
Oh,
because, like, when you see a child actor in a movie, it always ruins it, like, instantly ruins it, because you know that they're just reading a fucking script and memorizing it, and then, like you don't feel like this is an actual character coming up with things to say. You feel like it's a child remembering lines. But the little girl in this movie was so natural that, I fell for it immediately. Like, the first shot of her and Channing Tatum working on a truck, like, it goes on for, like, a minute and a half without any cuts, and I was like, wow, this girl is really good.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, for me, a good mark of a child actor is that, yeah, you're right, they're not just reading lines blankly off of whatever they memorized and whatever. You can actually see them interacting with the other actors, and Yeah, just adding something to the screen, and this little girl does it.
Any other performances you want to
Fucking
point
Daniel
out?
Craig, man. Fucking
Oh,
James
yeah.
Bond.
He disappeared the most. You would
Yeah.
think, James Bond, like, oh, he's going to stick out like a sore thumb like Seth MacFarlane. No. No, he was so into this that I didn't even recognize him as a human being.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the other one that he's got a very small part in the movie, but like I recognized him, Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier in the Marvel movies.
Who was he?
He was the race car driver.
Oh, no shit. I had no idea.
Yeah, very, very small role.
That's a really funny role, too, even though it's like 8 lines. But the
Yeah.
character's such a pretentious asshole. I loved it.
And like it's hilarious to me that like Steven Soderbergh is the kind of director who can insert this type of character who has very little impact on the story other than kind of like fucking over Seth MacFarlane's character at the end of it because he gets fucked over by Seth MacFarlane. But basically, you build up this character in very, very small clips of him basically saying that his body is a temple and he works out a lot and he's got a very strict diet, which as soon as Seth MacFarlane's power
Yeah.
power
Power
drink,
energy drink.
yeah, spewing guy gets him to drink it. You know that's kind of what's going to happen, but you don't know in so excessive a way that it's going to like make him crash and stuff like that. But like, yeah, just he brings a lot to a very small character, and that's basically the actor's credo: is there are no small parts, only small actors. So yeah, he does a great job in that role.
And it's a role that, in my opinion, didn't even need to be in the movie. I don't think
Sure.
it had like an actual impact, but just because the character was so funny, like why would I complain? It was a good 5 minutes of a silly character doing silly things, and it's a comedy movie. If you're going into this expecting like a very realistic heist movie, you're not going to get that. This is
No.
more of an absurdist comedy because a lot of the shit in this movie is like you can't expect it to be real because it's just crazy sometimes.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think they do a good job of like this is not a heist I would ever imagine in my head. Is rob the NASCAR Motor Speedway
Yeah.
in North Carolina. That's a great idea then, and then they can set the details around it. Like they have the transport tubes like you use at the bank to get money and stuff like that to take the money from the customers and then put it in a vault. Like all of those neat little ideas really just flesh out the world, make you believe that what you're seeing is like real, even if even if the details and how they do stuff isn't always believable.
Yeah.
There's enough detail to make you think, oh, this is kind of cool. Like when Joe
Yeah,
Bang makes
everything
his
at
bomb.
the everything at the prison when the prisoners go on riot as part of Joe Bang's plan. Like it was very, very funny,
Mhm.
and like it was slightly unrealistic, but like who cares because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is probably one of the funniest things I've seen this year. There's
Yeah.
a protracted Game of Thrones reference thing where the
was really
inmates,
funny.
the inmates during a riot demand the 2 unpublished Game of Thrones books, and
Because they think that they would be out by then because they don't know.
Yes. And I was laughing uproariously in the theater. There was an older couple in the theater alongside me who I don't think understood what was going on, and I was just laughing my ass off. It was so great.
So if you're familiar with the Ocean's 11's movies and stuff, like these are just heist movies. You got they build up their team and each person has a specific skill set and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about this movie is that I was expecting it to be very straightforward, and it was for the first like 2/3 of it. But then there's like this big shift in the
Yeah.
narrative, and I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to, because I want you to go see this for yourself. But something happens and you don't understand why, and then the main character, Channing Tatum, he disappears from the movie for 20 minutes, and we have none of the characters have any idea what's going on, and neither do we.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way it gets fleshed out, and the big reveals at the end, it was so clever that I just had a huge dumb grin on my face watching it unfold, and I wasn't expecting this sort of twist, and when it happened, it exceeded my expectations.
Oh, definitely. And like, so when that thing happens, like when Channing Tatum disappears, I just thought, oh, well, that's kind of like disappointing. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a great way to end this movie. I've had so much fun along the way. And then it's revealed what is going on. I'm just like, oh, Soderbergh, you motherfucker. I was
Yeah.
so happy. Yeah.
And like the whole time you think like, oh yeah, Channing Tatum, he's kind of smart, like he's pulling off this heist. But then at the end, you're like, this guy's he's a savant. He's the smartest man who ever lived. It's amazing.
Totally.
And then another thing that I really appreciate is that after the heist, there is like, is it FBI or CIA?
It's got to be at FBI, I think.
Yeah, he's like, hey, whatever you're banging, stop banging over there, you Southern Belle. I hear you over there.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
You're banging something. Pulling a digi, banging his legs against the desk the whole time we record. But there's this this female FBI agent who was like investigating the robbery, the heist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like she's getting nowhere with it, and then the twist with her at the very end, I really like that too. It reminded me of something that I would do if I was writing a movie or a book, and like just leave this like big sort of cliffhanger open-ended thing at the end, and then like never resolve it because like, fuck you, I guess you gotta think about it, bitch.
Yeah, no, exactly, because you're not entirely sure whether she is going to try to bust them or whether she's just happy knowing that this is how things went down, and she's kind of found them, and that's enough for her. She has a great look to her too, just like she looks very severe looking, and the way she talks.
Who was that?
I have no idea. I don't know if she's any kind of movie star or anything, but yeah.
For a second, I thought it was like Julia Roberts, but I was like, no, it's like Julia Roberts mixed with the Mexican chick from Fast and Furious. Whatever that bitch's name is. But yeah, I don't know who this actress was, but I enjoyed what she brought to the role.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, that's all I got. You have anything else to bring up?
Not much. Basically, just see this movie. It needs the support. You'll probably enjoy it. Like this is the kind of movie that you could probably take anybody to, as long as they're in some way going to be entertained by some kind of heist, and they're interested in seeing like different characters, Southern characters, coming together and pulling together some kind of interesting crime. Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. One of the best things I think about this movie is that when you say it's a heist, you just think it's a straightforward, they're going to rob somebody of money. But basically, a big part of this movie is they have to break somebody out of jail in order to get them to take part of it. But then they also have to break them back into jail to let them serve the rest of their time out. It's little details like that that just make me say, oh, I love this movie. I love that it's constructed well, it's well thought out. The characters all kind of have their own motivations and their own kind of foibles that they have to. Like the two guys who are Joe Bang's brothers who say that they have to have a moral reason for doing it, which then dissipates when they have to move the heist earlier. All that kind of shit is just so great.
And it's just so funny. Every actor is funny. They give some of their best comedic performances that I've ever seen from these people. Mm-hmm. And I just love the whole thing, and I want to see it again sometime soon.
Definitely. This is basically a master filmmaker coming back to his craft and letting us all know how great he is at doing what he is.
And tragically, he put all his own money into distributing it, and now he's gonna go bankrupt. So I guess, oops.
Fuck. Even though Logan died at the end of the Logan movie, these Logans are not so lucky.
And with that, we'll say, see you next time. I've been Mumkey Jones.
And I'm E. Rich.
I'm Clive Owen.
And I'm Daniel Craig.